Hello guys, Fire here, and welcome to my guide for Deltascape V3.0 Savage. This fight has a total of 4 phases, and you can access each specific phase clicking on the description. So, let's start. The first ability that the boss casts is Critical Hit, which does high damage, so be ready to heal the tank. The next mechanic is Spellblade Holy. It will put 3 red marks AoEs in 3 random players, and 1 shared damage in another one. Next, the boss will cast Pole Shift. It will exchange the position of the players linked. Just position your group in a way where the shared damage player will be sent in the free players group. The next mechanic is the Queen's Waltz. This mechanic's effect depends on which kind of platform the boss is on. In the first phase, all the platforms are identical, so it has only one ability. It will do a line AoE that will hit each member of the group. Position each member of the group around the boss and don't let any player overlap another player. The next mechanic is Haste, followed by a random ability. There is 3 possibilities here. It can be Spellblade Blizzard Tree, where you just need to stay far away from the boss, Spellblade Thunder Tree, where you need to stay away from the front of the boss, or Spellblade Fire Tree, where you can stay in the middle or far away from the boss. Now, she will cast Dimensional Wave. It's a high damage AoE, be ready to heal. Next mechanic is the Playing Field. It's very similar to the normal mode. The difference is that you will need at least 1 player in each panel. Otherwise, the empty panel will explode. Also, make sure to stack your group for Oink, otherwise the players not stacked will be transformed into a pig and will die. Now the boss will change the panels on the arena, starting the second phase. Remember what I told in the start of the video that the ability the Queen's Waltz depends on which kind of panel she is on. Here's the first variation. Now, this ability will tether the players with Thorn Vines. It will tether both tanks and healers with the DPS players. Have both tanks and healers go to one direction while the DPS players go to the other. You need to stretch the vines until it breaks. Also, be careful with the thorns on the panels. You can't stand there or you will receive high damage over time. After that, she will cast another haste. This time, she will cast her Spellblade Thunder Tree. After she uses 1 tank buster and another dimensional wave, she will use Place Token. This ability always summons one ad. You must separate the ad from the boss, otherwise the ad gonna heal 10% of the boss HP. This ad hits very hard, so try to assign 1 healer for the boss and 1 healer for the ad. During the time that we are killing the ad, the boss will cast Mind Jack. It gonna place a status called Right Face. You need to check the direction that the status is showing. After the right face cooldown is over, your character will move against your will to that direction. She also gonna cast the Queen's Waltz one more time. Because this, you need to position in a way where you move to the right direction to break the vines. And remember, tanks and healers must go to a different direction than the DPS players. After another dimensional wave, she changed the panels again, starting the third phase. And with that, the skill the Queen's Waltz will change the effect one more time. Before the Queen's Waltz, she gonna use Place Token again. This time, it will summon a Great Dragon. Have the tank bring the boss to one side of the arena, while the other brings the dragon to the other side. Now, she will cast the Queen's Waltz. You must stand on the blue platform or you will die. And right after it, she will cast Ribbit, which turns the players into frogs. Since the boss is on the other side of the arena, you should be fine. After Ribbit, she will cast another dimensional wave. Pay attention to the healings here. After it, another tank buster will come. Be ready for that as well. Now the boss gonna use Place Dark Token. It will summon ads that do high damage. The trick here is to find the right panel to stand. look what direction the adds will attack and go to the safe panel. During this time, she will cast the Queen's Waltz again, so be ready to heal right after you find the correct panel. Now she gonna use Haste, one of the 3 Spellblade abilities, and it finishes with a Dimensional Wave. After she swaps the panels again, the final phase starts. With the new type of panel, the Queen's Waltz gonna have a new effect as well. This time, you need to assign one player for each free panel. Make sure to have one healer in each side of the arena. It's not a mandatory, but it will make things easier. After the books fall, stand under the boss to avoid the oink. Use this time to heal everyone as fast as possible, and right after, go back to your panel again. She will summon one more ad here. Have your off tank take it. While the boss is casting the Queen's Waltz, the ad will cast an AoE in each player position. To avoid this, you need to stay very close to the corner of the panel where you are standing, so that you can go to the other corner to avoid it. Remember that each player in each panel will be hit by the Queen's Waltz ability. Right after, the boss will cast Squelch. Don't face the boss or you'll be transformed into an imp. Use LB to kill the ad here, otherwise the ad will enter in a frenzy mode and each hit will be a KO. It must be down before that. During the time you are killing the ad, she will cast another Dimensional Wave followed by Tank Buster. Be ready to heal here again. After another Dimensional Blade, she gonna use Spellblade Holly. It will place 4 ready AoE marks on 4 players, 2 sheriff damage marks in 2 players, and the last 2 players will be free. To deal with this, have the players with red marks take 1 green book each other, the players with shared damage mark take 1 blue book each other, and the players without anything take 1 blue book as well. Each player without any mark must share the damage with one of the players that have the shared damage mark. Also, they must not be in the same panel because the boss gonna use the Queen's Waltz here again. So the players with share mark and the players without anything must be close to each other to share the damage, but not in the same panel. After it, she gonna use another Dimensional Wave. Try to heal as fast as possible. After another panel swap, she gonna use the playing field here again. This time, it will require at least 2 frogs, 2 pigs, and 2 imps. The way we deal with this is to have all the DPSs become frogs, the tanks become pigs, and the healers become imps. You must do this mechanic right, because if you do, you will be granted the LB3. If you fail this mechanic in any way, you will not gain LB3, and the LB3 is a must for the further mechanics. After you finish the transformation, the boss will jump in one of the panels. The ability that she casts depends on which kind of panel she is standing. If she jumps on the books panel, it will be Folios again. The players must go to their positions the same way as when you started the last phase. If she jumps on this kind of panel, she gonna attack the same way as in the start of the battle. Position the players around her and do not overlap players. If she jumps on the blue panel, she gonna use the same attack as the third phase. You must be inside of the blue panel or you will die. And finally, if she jumps on the thorns, she will use the same mechanic as the second phase, stuck in the middle, and after the thorn vines appear, tank and healers go to one direction while DPS players go to the other direction. Now, she gonna cast another Spellblade Holly. This time, it will work as the first phase. Wait to see where the share damage will be and position the players without any mark there to share the damage. After another critical hit, the boss gonna cast Mind Jack, and right after, she gonna use Place Dark token. This mechanic must be done inside of the 4 central panels. The players must not be outside of the 4 central panels when this mechanic finishes. The trick here is to have the players with tether finish the Mind Jack on the opposite direction of the ad that's targeting them. Close to the end of this mechanic, the tethers will be looking like an X ladder. Remember that you must not be outside of the 4 central panels because the outer panel will be wiped away by the outside ads. You can see that I finished the mechanic outside of the 4 central panels and was killed by the outside edges. Try to avoid something like that. As for the players that don't have tether, as long as they finish inside of the 4 central panels and outside of the AoE in the center, they should be fine. Right after finishing this mechanic, the boss will jump again. Remember to look which panel she has jumped on and deal with it accordingly. In the video, she chooses the blue panel, so we had to go inside the blue panel to avoid death. After another dimensional wave, the boss will cast Haste followed by 2 Spellblade abilities. Remember that this is random and can be Fire, Blizzard or Thunder Tree. One more dimensional wave will come and the boss gonna cast Place Token again. This time, one ad will appear on east while another 6 small ads will appear on west. This is why you must not miss the playing field mechanic, otherwise you will not have LB3 and you will not be able to kill the ads before the next mechanics. During the time that your group is killing the ads, the boss will cast Haste 3 followed by 4 dimensional waves in a row. This is a healing check, and don't lose your focus after the dimensional waves, because the boss will jump on a random panel right after that and you must be ready to heal after that as well. After she jumps and uses the Queen's Waltz, she will cast another Spellblade ability. Again, it will be a random between Fire, Thunder and Blizzard Tree. Now she gonna use another dimensional wave, followed by Tank Buster. After that, she will jump one more time. Again, pay attention to which panel she has jumped on and deal with it accordingly. Now, another Spellblade will come. This is the same mechanic as the first phase again. Just place the 3 players where the share damage will be. After another Tank Buster, the boss gonna use Mind Jack followed by Place Dark Token again. This is exactly the same mechanic as before. Remember to finish this mechanic inside of the 4 central panels and that the tether players are as far away as possible from the ads that are marking them. As for the players without any tether, as long as they finish inside of the 4 central panels, they should be fine. After Mind Jack is finished, the boss will jump you on a random panel again. Just deal with it accordingly. In the video, we got Thorn Vines, so the healers and tanks went to one side of the arena, while the DPS players went to the other side. After one more dimensional wave, the boss will cast Haste followed by 2 Spellblade abilities again. Remember that you can get Fire, Blizzard or Thunder Tree, and right after that, she will cast one more dimensional wave. And finally, we got to Enrage. This time, or you kill the boss, or you will die. Well guys, that's it. I hope this guide was useful and nice drops and clears coming for your group. See you in the next guide.